Compensation Committee meeting, and we're meeting at the beautiful Coffee County Board of Education here on MacArthur Street. We only have a couple of things to talk about, but they could be lengthy conversations. First one we're going to discuss, if everybody will check in their packet and pull out their organizational chart. So after six months, this is how I see we are best operate, how our district functions as far as our leadership and a formal organizational chart. We're going to take a minute or two and let's just peruse that, okay? And that gives everybody time to look at it.
Do we have names attached to
That's what I
these?
was gonna ask.
No,
How come?
those are just the positions.
Okay.
Okay.
I can tell you who they are, though.
Okay.
If
Well,
you're
we've got these,
online.
we can look at them on this, I guess,
Right.
and see. Yeah, I've not ever seen one that didn't have names on it.
Well, the original one I made was very detailed and had a whole much on there, but it had been about 5 sheets, which I was asked to do an organizational chart, and this is it. We also have detailed job descriptions and other things, and we can start binding that information if we need to,
Well, I
because
think
it'll be a ton of it.
part of what we wanted to see was who was in what positions and who was underneath those in that position.
Okay.
So we'll take the 5 pages if you have them. Because I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll show it.
That would
Well,
save
we
a whole lot
didn't
of-
put names on any of them.
anything? Yeah, that was one of,
The organizational charts that I've seen in other school systems don't have names attached. They're just positions. But I can help. We can decipher this.
okay.
Okay, so you're starting off in the center with the director of schools, and then you're going off to the sides, and then,
There are some different, and there are linear ones, which we're looking at a linear, and there are also spherical ones. They're done in a circle.
I like the linear ones better.
I prefer them as well.
They're a little cleaner.
They are.
So the deputy director, Kelvin,
Yes, ma'am.
these are the positions under him.
And if you
He's
also
responsible
notice,
for.
primarily, you also know to the left of his box, just go right, get your pencil pen right there on the left of Mr. Short's box. See how it slants?
Mhm.
It slants down and ties in with the other side as well. Because there'll be times where he's dealing with Mr. Damewood and the director of technology if I'm dealing with something else or out at a school doing a principal evaluation. But those are the primary, yes. And it is kind of confusing, Miss Beth.
mm-hmm. So what's this one here? The,
HR,
okay,
that's Miss Langham. She serves as our deputy's,
but
Secretary.
aren't everybody?
and-
Our administrative assistant.
yes, sir,
Yeah.
and HR. She does HR. Now, to be quite honest, I should have drawn a line from my box to her box too, because we do HR things a lot of times collectively.
Well, technically, you got a line. It just goes.
It goes through someone else.
Yeah.
It goes back up instead of assistant to the director of schools and the board of education.
That would be Miss Melissa. Y'all can write on this if you want to. We can attach names and do something else maybe by Monday.
Well, you need on that one. You need to put Miss Melissa / Charlie when she's
There you
absent.
go. Well,
He's the
or we
note
could draw
taker.
a squiggly line from Melissa to Charlie that's kind of a perforated line.
Ugh.
the assistant to the director of schools in the Board of Education. Isn't that Melissa?
Miss
Mhm.
Melissa?
So she's here and she's here.
No, ma'am. The one on the right side is Miss Langham, Stephanie Langham.
Okay.
And then your receptions out front is Miss Clark. And we'll move from left to right if you want to, Miss Yens.
It kind of helps us to know,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know, if I want to contact somebody.
Miss Size,
Who
Miss
it comes
Size,
underneath.
Miss Sizemore.
So,
Talk to me.
so the director, the deputy director is over all of the supervisors and the directors?
No, sir. His
You got that
primary.
down to all
It,
these?
it does, and that's where these lines crossing kind of get confusing. Okay,
So there's nothing that ties you,
that
So-
cross line right here.
this
And it-
one?
Yes, sir. And if you notice, Mr. Shores also has a cross line. We thought about making those perforated lines just for the visual part of it. Would that help?
Okay,
Well, I
where's,
kind of figured as the director of school and as a deputy director of school, he's right underneath you. So what you're working with, he's also working with in some
In some
capacity?
capacities,
Yeah.
especially if I'm not there and vice
Right.
versa.
Okay.
but you're
If there's a
still,
bus complaint and Mr. Shores is on a job, sometimes I have to deal with
Right,
it.
right.
But day in and day out, what's
Yes, sir.
under his bracket is what he deals with day in and day out,
Yes, sir.
first and foremost. You know,
And the things that aren't listed on here, like capital projects, well, you
Yeah.
see maintenance in there, but there's nowhere on here that talks about capital projects. There's nowhere on there that talks about budgets. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
If we did that, that would be the bound copy that we could put everybody's job description in.
Okay. But you said you do have that with all the job descriptions and everything.
Yeah, it'll look like, it won't look as pretty. But did you want to write their names down?
Yeah.
On the far left, Director of Elementary Instruction, that's Jonah Sizemore. The next one to the right, Director of Middle School Instruction, is Dr. Blessing. If I get going too fast, tell me to tap the brakes. Director of Federal Programming and Secondary Education is Krista Cole. Director of Special Education and sometimes the Assistant to the Director, depending on Melissa, is Charlie Westmoreland. Director of Technology, Mr. Dane Wood. You want me to skip the principals?
Yeah. I mean, I think we know who the principals are.
Our Director of Business, if she's a snake, would bite Miss Yinch, that's Miss Melson. CTE Director, Richard Skipper. And y'all know Shay, don't you?
Mhm.
Shay is our supervisor of maintenance.
What's his last name?
Turner.
Turner. Oh, that,
It-
remind me to ask you when we're gonna do the bus.
Okay. Director of Coordinated School Health is Tanya Garner. Director of Nutrition is Miss Carlin. Director of Attendance, Dr. Cornelius. Supervisor of Transportation, Mr. Tim Morris.
I mean, that's all I needed. I don't need the individual stuff underneath.
Yes,
it. I
ma'am.
just kind of needed to know who to get a hold of if I needed
Yes,
one.
ma'am. If you notice at the bottom, Miss Ashley Jones, she is the shared administrative assistant between the elementary, middle school, and secondary.
Okay.
Ms. Coleman, Dr. Blessing, and Ms. Sizemore.
Yeah, this helps a lot. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You have, yeah, Christina Dotson is the one below Director of Special Education. If you remember, there was a meeting there, we talked about our special ed department being its own little ecosystem.
Mhm.
Well, you see why.
Yeah. That's where he was, Melissa. That's where he was today.
Yes.
Okay. This is great.
Now, moving forward, what do we need to add to this?
For me, this is sufficient. I don't know what anybody else wants. I would say just check with Tom and see if there's anything further
We'll,
you would want.
Go over this, I guess, Scott, go over this and look at it
Sure.
before, or Mr. Hargrove. And,
Been called worse, it's
I know we
okay.
have, I remember that. I've heard them a long time ago, no. I'd like to go over these and look at them and go and look at, our, and see what we've got. I know I've got, some questions that we'll probably want to have, that I'll have later on.
All I ask is that there are, these two are not shared out in the public.
Right.
Right.
Although I think people can go online and get them.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say.
I understand,
Offline.
they need to
But
go
we're
on.
not
Particularly put online, like our salary schedules are, that those salaries are.
Supervisors.
If they want them, they can request their public records. I do have those across my desk. Just want to, yeah, the public records, so anybody can ask for them anytime.
Or you can go to the state and get them
Get them too.
off
There's,
the website.
there's several different ways to get them. I've been approached by that, so.
They may not be broke down quite
Not-
like
not
those
like
are,
this,
but it
but-
gives the total, you know.
Just something
That's what
basic.
was reported.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Mm-hmm.
For the previous year.
And we're required to provide that to
Mm-hmm.
them.
Taxpayer funding.
Yes, sir.
So, looking at this, the CTE director, Richard Skipper, he's over at the high school, correct?
Yes, sir.
He's got his office over at the high school, okay.
And he serves as our district. I mean, last
Right,
Wednesday
I
was
mean,
a
he's
great
involved
event.
with the middle
Middle
school
school as
and,
well.
yeah, everything.
Raider Academy as well.
Right.
so.
And I think they need to get involved with the STEM programs in the elementary schools and,
Probably has his input on that. Yes, sir.
okay.
I do want to take time, a week ago Wednesday, we had career day at our middle school, and our sister district, Manchester City, we bused those middle schoolers over as well. There were probably 30, 40 stations, and the students got to pick 3 9-minute sessions to attend, and the folks from whatever that industry was had an opportunity to share. What a really neat event. So all of our Coffee County middle schoolers got to attend that, as well as Westwood City middle schoolers. It was a
that's
really
great.
good event. Yes, well run. Hats off to Mr. Skipper on that one. And all the other people that volunteered their time to come in and speak.
Okay, we got one here, Mr. Hargrove. It's,
Yes, sir.
Got our tech support specialist. You
Yes,
don't
sir.
have her listed as you've got her listed on here as a supervisor supplement, but she's not a supervisor.
She's assessed with the technicians.
So she's still getting a supervisor supplement?
Yes, because she got, back when we changed all of the salaries, scales, when everybody went to the one salary schedule, she got $1,000 supplement. She is technically a supervisor, I think, I'm not. I'm a-
I understand, but she's not a supervisor. She's not on the list. And we're paying her as a supervisor. $3,000 for it to be a supervisor,
Well, she's listed right here under the,
but she's not the,
well, I understand, but I mean, just take transportation, for instance. If you look over there, there's a head mechanic,
but he doesn't get a supervisor supplement though.
but he is supplemented, just,
I mean, I think this is one of the things that we were talking about. We've got supervisors supervising supervisors. Right?
I disagree. She's.
Well, she would be if she was a supervisor, she would be at the top of one of your,
I think there are different levels of
She
supervision.
doesn't get the 15% that the other
The other ones
supervisors
get.
get.
And there are other people on here that are not awarded that same amount either.
The way her salary was set up when she first came on with the district, she got $1,000, what they called $1,000 supervisor supplement. When the salary schedules were changed, those supplements went away and it was replaced with a percentage. So anybody that had a 4% had a $1,000 supplement, got replaced with a 4% supplement, because the $1,000 was never, now, I don't know why the supplement was originally given, was how her salary schedule was set up like that, because that was way prior to me. But anybody who had a $1,000 supplement it got replaced with a 4% supplement, because the $1,000 never grows. And so that was done maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when all the salary schedules were looked at and combined and changed. So those supplements were all approved by the board, and they were all presented to the Salary Compensation Committee back when those were done. I don't know why that was set up like that. Is it a supervisor supplement? I don't know why it's called that, but it was $1,000. It was $1,000 supplement at the time that was called that, and so when the $1,000 supplement went away, it was replaced with a 4%. That's all I can only give you the history of why that 4% there. I don't know why, the history of how we hired her and all in that history. I don't know any of that. I can just answer why the 4% is there.
okay. I mean, I guess in an organizational chart, your head supervisor would be at the top of whatever, that would be the one that would be getting your supervisor pay. Your director of elementary and instruction, call Ms. Sizemore, she would be the supervisor, correct?
Right.
Mr. Blessing would be a supervisor, Ms. Cole would be a supervisor, Mr. Westmoreland would be a supervisor, Mr. Dang would be a supervisor, April would be a supervisor, Skipper, Turner, Garner, Cotton, Keith Cornelius, and Tim, that would be your supervisors. outside of that, why were we paying supervisor pay to anybody else?
We have different levels of supervision. You got, if you look at your principals, underneath your principals are assistant principals.
Where is she listed at as a tech super support?
Hanson, I'll tell you, her position is very unique in our district. She really doesn't fit, that particular position doesn't really fit in a standard category.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's just, because it's a software specialist, she works with teachers, it's an educational, I mean, it's more of an educational job, even though she does do user management. It's actually very, like, for instance, when it comes to administrator of the year, she's not included in that group.
Yes, sir.
And she's not included in teachers of the year, and she's not included in support staff of the year.
Yes, sir.
See, it's just a very unique title, just because that's what it is, and that's where it's been for 40 years.
Okay.
It may not answer your question, but that's what it is.
Well, no, this is the reason why we're wanting a organizational chart, because this breaks down this stuff and it kind of lets us know,
But,
you know, if you're getting paid, I've not ever been on a job that if you was a supervisor, you supervise people. So if she's unique in a position by herself, then why?
when I'm not here, she supervises the techs. She does have responsibility over them, and then she does, when it comes to deploying products and equipment to classrooms, she actually takes care of that more than I do, when it's like in the education room side, not the network side. And April, she is not getting a supervisor supplement.
No, she's getting the 4%, which replaced the $1,000. And by your description, I'm assuming that's why she was given the $1,000, because she serviced.
Right, well, that, I
Because
mean,
she
that
does
was
have-
obviously what happened when we came in.
I
when we
can't know
transferred
that because I don't
over
have.
from-
Yeah, I'm just going by
We can look at her
what
paperwork.
what's in front of me here.
Oh, I understand.
You know,
So,
yeah.
I mean, you could break it out if you wanted to and change the title if that's necessary.
That might be a good idea. It's just to
Okay.
change your title.
All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah, we don't, because,
She's kind of your assistant then, Randy.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
so-
she would be underneath you then.
yes.
But she's getting, so on here it says that she's getting a supervisor pay.
Well, maybe
she
we-
is, but she's not getting what he's,
It's just what we call the supplement. And maybe we need to call the supplement
she
We
is.
may need
something
to
else.
change that to, we may need to change that to supplement instead of supervisor then.
Well, that's what it used to be
exactly
called.
right. It's just, what's the word, nomenclature. Seems like that. Semantics is what's more the issue here, I think.
Yeah, we'll just take that word out. Or put the word assistant supervisor in there or something. That would work, assistant supervisor. Because really, that's the only one that is getting supervisor pay that we need to put a new title on. Okay. Is there a supplement given to administrative assistants? No.
Charlie shaking his hand no, and Kevin shaking his hand yeah.
I thought you meant assistant principal.
No.
I can only speak for mine, and she does not get a supplement.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you,
So
Mr.
we
Westmoreland.
can't rename it that, so. Okay.
Well, technically, she's not administrative. Administrative secretary, that sort of thing, that's not what she does.
Yeah,
So that wouldn't be appropriate either.
okay.
We can change the name of her supplement.
Huh?
We'll have to add a new supplement, well, we'll change the name of her supplement. We'll have to set up a new supplement in our payroll system, but we'll do that. Make that clear.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know that was a lot
I'll
of
make the
work.
changes
Thank
and do a perforated line and we'll
no,
add
no, this is what we're here
names.
for. I mean, this is what we're here to talk about, and we appreciate it. It's-
And to be quite frank about it, I didn't look at the ones here. We have a date on this one and we can update it and post it.
Yeah.
And that will be part of our documents and it'll be posted on our website.
Yeah, that's not necessary. I mean, either, we were just wanting something because these are supposed to be approved by the board,
Yes, sir.
and, not had one in
A minute.
a long time.
Okay.
And,
We post them on there. I think it's just good practice to do that
Yes,
with
sir.
everything else.
yes, sir.
I know a lot of surrounding school systems post their
Well, it gives-
organizational charts,
You know,
and it
gives
just full transparency.
yeah, it gives the parents, it gives some of your lower employees. It gives them the flow of, you know, of how to go up if they've got a
Yes, sir.
complaint and whatnot. So the proper channels to go through.
Right.
And since you put all that work into it anyhow, you might as well get it out there.
Right. Well, I have a shout out to Mr. Damewood and Miss Melissa. I about had every hair pulled out of my head at one point, and they talked me off the ledge. And I appreciate their assistance.
Thank y'all.
Yes,
Ms. Morris
thank
Moore,
you very
Mr.
much.
Dangwood, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just something that whenever I came on the board here, kept looking it up and, never did see it. And,
Well, the original documentation, we don't know where it is.
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
Probably some word file buried in some, well, it's probably buried in the landfill by now.
Yeah, yeah.
Miss Yentz, I do want to add mine was much more colorful, and they talked me off that
can
ledge,
see
and
that.
you got gray and black.
Yeah. Yours was.
So I had
yours was
blue and
red
yellow. It
blues and
was-
yellows and stuff.
I'm an art teacher. I like the color.
Thank you.
Give me color any day. Matter of fact, every one of them could have a different.
Right, and my goal would be to try to get this shared Monday evening with everyone. Okay, next on the agenda is in regards to current salary schedules. Give you guys time to.
Ms. Nelson, how many teachers do we currently have that will have to bump up to meet the 50,000 mandate?
Sorry, here.
39, isn't it?
If all of them are still with us, we have 43.
43.
And we're at 49,133. Okay.
And Mr. Coon, you obviously understand that could sway either way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just
People.
just curious
a
where
general
we,
number.
yeah, where we
That was
were.
at the beginning of the year. We probably hired a few more, or some of them have left us, so
Right.
it's probably,
Well, there'll be some movement, you know, by the end of the year, one way or the other, I'm sure, so. But, you know, just an idea of, you know, how many we have that would be below the 50,000 threshold, you know, just all I was wanting.
Now, that would also affect the scale as you look at, just stay in the BS column.
Right.
You're looking at several different groups that are affected by that, which expands that number greatly because you don't want, you're sandwiching about 5 steps in there into 50,000. You get what I'm saying? You want to have your next step be an amount greater than the prior one.
Well, as I
What-
understand, as we increase that figure, it increases everything.
yeah, we.
Those
we-
are our intentions.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
typically don't give just the rates to one
Yeah.
part of the scale.
Yeah, I like that. I like that it goes across the board.
Well, your differential pay between the years ought to be basically the same amount all the way down the scale.
Right.
I mean, that's just,
And that was part of when we fixed, because it didn't used to be like that. There were gaps of like between, I'm just using an example of masters 10 and 11. Like they got an increase of $1,000, and then you go to year 12 and they got $100. And so when we redid the scales a couple of years ago, we made sure that each step made sense and it was the same amount increments across the board. So that was something that we fixed a couple of years ago.
Very balanced. I will, in complete transparency, I am very, and it keeps me awake sometimes at night. And do not bring that up to the lady sitting beside you, Ms. Yinch, but next year's budget, not knowing where we stand with the Department of Education, will there even be one, and how does that number change? If we knew a little bit more, I'd probably sleep. I know she would, but the federal dollars involved in our budget, not knowing where we're headed with that, how the state will handle that, it'll be a different budget talk. And I'd say there's probably be a lot of contingency in that as we plan for our budget for the 26-27 school year.
Yeah,
There's a lot of things we don't know.
right.
And
Which will go into our decision on what kind of raises to do for next year.
well, yes, ma'am. And you look at our special ed, those are federal dollars that support and our title, our most needy students.
Yeah.
And we don't know how that will be affected. Could be okay.
You think?
Well, now Governor Lee promised that we had plenty of money, and his,
But worrying about it not, I do, Ms. Melson and I will speak to this every once in a while, just what our contingencies are, and
Yeah, Governor Lee also is wanting to increase the
voucher program.
voucher program too, so there goes that
Is,
bunch of money.
we talked about last year, trying to separate and put that other pay grade in to separate the teachers and the principals from, we talked about that too. Remember, Ms. Nelson, we talked about that last year, and we was gonna try to do that this year.
No, well, I mean, that would be the direction of my supervisor. If that's
Right.
what we do.
Right.
It'll be to him. We could build another one, but
you're talking about
we're
building
talking about
another
building another pay scale and moving people to it. Moving it
for,
next school year.
For our,
They just have moving principals to different pay scale.
principals and teachers.
Yeah,
our principals are on a teacher's pay scale,
Mhm.
less
Right,
right.
Right.
the supervisory pay. What,
Right.
help me understand it.
Putting the custodians and the cafeteria workers and all of them on a separate one, bus drivers, all of them, put them on,
They are currently.
Yeah, they're on the certified.
yeah,
They're on the classified. It's right here. First paraprofessional
Yeah,
salary
clarified,
schedule.
yeah.
yeah.
So each classified area of work has its own pay scale. I think he's talking about, because all of our certified, so like principals, give you a little bit of history. We used to have 4 years ago, we used to have 2 of these. Hence the $1,000 supplement. So when I got hired, I got paid on a lower scale that was less than the certified scale that we have now. And I got a $1,000 supplement to make up for that. That's where the $1,000 that I was talking about earlier came from. And then when 2 or 3 years ago, we looked at combining the 2 scales. So we did away with the admin scale and moved everybody to the certified scale. And then the next year we made improvements to the percentages. So about 3 years ago, everybody was, and I'm looking at Kelvin because I don't know. We've done so much to the pay scales. I can't remember what year it was, but we moved everybody to one pay scale. And so I think what he's mentioning, we talked about before, is separating who's on the certified pay scale,
Gotcha.
which is what we used to have for years and years and years and years and years, and then we went away from it. It was before, I think, right before this board changed over.
Let me ask you something, Miss April,
When we fixed it.
historically, and I hate to put you on the spot. In 5 years, how well have we done on this? As far as just
So-
teachers?
I looked at that when I was looking at all the increases that we've given. So if I look at my paraprofessionals
Okay,
scale, we've increased since 2019, which is 2019, 2020.
right,
We've increased this scale by 32%.
okay.
So our cafeteria workers used to make $9 an hour, and now they make, and this was last year. This is not this
Right,
is not
the
the current,
current.
'cause I didn't add that in there. So when I looked at 24, 25 scales versus 2019, 20, 32% is what we've given our paraprofessionals. And that doesn't include the money that we gave them for, years of experience. That was around $150,000 on top of all the work
Okay.
that we did to this. And then if I look at our certified, we averaged about 24%
Increase?
increases between 2019, 2020, and not this pay scale, but the 24, 25 pay scale. I haven't done the new,
Well, I really had zero to do with this, Mr. Hanser.
Oh, no, I know that.
No, listen, I had zero to do with this, but I am very proud, and y'all need to wear this as a badge of honor, because we are attracting people, and our retention is real good. This is a very competitive, pay scale to the place that we want to be academically, athletically. And y'all need to take a lot of satisfaction in raising your hand and voting that in.
Oh, we do.
Ms. Melson, I have a question on the paraprofessionals schedule here. The bus driver and cafeteria worker above line 0 is a rate, is that for substitutes?
Mhm.
Okay. Kind of what I figured,
and that
but,
goes up every time we give a raise. We'll increase it by the same percentage.
right. Well, I was just figuring that was for the substitutes.
And you notice that year 0 and year 1 are the same for cafeteria worker.
Mhm.
That's usually what we've historically done. I don't know why it started like, but I guess you don't want your sub to make more than your first year, so,
No.
or your 0 year.
So I guess what I'm trying to get at, Mr. Hargrove, is what we talked about last year, and Ms. Yinch and Mr. Coon can jump in here too, is when we're on a 4% and everybody gets a 4%, your head custodian that's been here for 25 years still don't top out but $20.10.
Right.
Okay, then you go over here and you've got, everybody's on a 4%. So these guys are still getting 4%, and your top pay guys keep getting further and further apart. You agree to that?
I understand the math in that, but I also understand that, what is expected out of our supervisors. We're expecting a lot more out of our supervisors than we are some of our non-certified employees.
Our schools are pretty clean
Mm-hmm.
for $20 an hour after you've been here for 20 years, 25 years.
Sure.
So, I mean, McDonald's ain't much below that. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, they get benefits
Mm-hmm.
at McDonald's?
Mhm.
Okay.
Like they do,
If they're full-time.
if they're full-time.
Okay.
I would like to see us be able to bring up our paraprofessional salary. I know we've increased it 30%, but I'm still trying to figure people trying to live off of some of these
I understand.
salaries. And so I would really like to see us be able to do something with that.
And that was the reason why they talked about last year, trying to put that other pay grade in there so that we can help get their pay up some compared to what I mean, our top echelon is really good. Obviously, they're really good. That's the reason why people don't want to leave here and they keep coming here.
Our teachers,
Mhm.
our teachers are a really,
But we need our custodians and our teachers' assistants and all them just as much,
no, nobody's devaluing them.
right? But we
No.
are here though.
Do what?
We are here though.
But
I'll-
if I look at back at 2019, I mean, I'm not saying that we don't need to, I'm not at all saying that we don't need to work on the skills. We
No,
do.
that's all we're saying too.
But, I mean, if I look at, which line are you looking at? Head custodian used to be 1478 before we started.
Yeah.
In 2019, 2020.
But
That's for 25 years.
We've done a ton of work, and we're still working. We're still planning to work.
Right.
Because, I mean, don't think we're devaluing them at all. We've done a ton of work to get them where they're at.
and we just want them to know that, you know, if you've been in any of our schools and since the government shutdown has been on this past month, I've been into a lot of our schools, and since I've had some time off and because of the government shutdown, and our schools are immaculate. And to know that, you know, you're here for 25 years and they're just making that is kind of embarrassing.
I like to research how we compare to other school systems around us. And I think that would be, but it's,
I think we did that last year. There may be some documents. that
okay,
we
thank
have.
you.
We did that last year. But teacher scale and, not last year, but the year before.
Right.
The teacher scale and the classified scale. I might have those from a couple of years ago, but you
Sure.
may want more.
I mean, our supervisors here don't make what others make in the county. But our teachers do.
Mhm.
And that's, we're investing in everybody. And these non-certified people, I mean, they're just as big a part of our team as anybody. But I guess April, the backstory to this, we'll look at some of the numbers.
Well, we want to be a leader, not a follower though, right?
We tried to.
Right. That's I mean, that's the reason why we're attracting people and we don't have people leaving, and we want to keep it that way.
Right.
But especially all the way down to our custodians and everybody, our teachers' assistants.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do it, can't do it without them.
I'm wondering if we can make any of these decisions, though, just like you said, Mr. Hargrove, we don't know what the finances are gonna be next year.
That's the
So
scary
whether
part.
we can
Right.
make any real big decisions until we see closer to some indication of that.
Well, we do know this, and that, we've already had this conversation. We do know that we're gonna have to raise, everybody's getting raises to get the minimum.
Right.
We know that's coming.
Right.
We really tried to do a good job, and I recommend it, and you all had a kind enough heart to approve it, that everybody got the bonus.
Mhm.
And I spoke to the fact that it's just not our teachers that make a huge impact. It is, learning is better when you have a clean school, when
Absolutely.
you have good food, and we celebrated that with that extra money that they'll receive in December. But, you know, outside of that, the budget may land us, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to comment, don't know, and I'm a negative Nelly, if you want to call me that, and scared of that, and if we get it, yeehaw.
Well, it could be one of those situations that once the government does open back up and you finally get some decent numbers, that, you know, it may be just a good old fashioned holding pattern on the budget for next year,
Right.
other than the, you know, little bit of a raise for the
Right,
employees that have to have it. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, that's, you know, you don't ever know until we get
No,
some
sir.
kind of numbers on what we're gonna get from the state and the federal.
And there's a plan, like, we built a bunch of plans when we started working on these scales
right.
a few years ago, and there's a plan how to work to it. We can work backwards into it if we need to, and then give a small raise to get us there. But there's some plans. I don't wanna just give the top part a raise because then it makes it kinda gets us back to where we were at.
Right, you
Years
got the
ago, right, you have those
discrepancy,
gaps.
right.
You have to do it
But there's a
across
way
the
to work,
board.
work up and work from the bottom up to get to 50,000 here and then give a small raise to make sure that we can afford it. But we have those scales built already. And we did all that when we were looking at how to get there because where we started, 2019, let me tell you where we started. At 38,155 is where we started. And that was,
Beginning teachers?
mhm.
Good, nice.
And that's where we, in 2021 or 2022, we had to really figure out how we were gonna get to 50.
That's when we did the
And
7%. That was that year.
It was a 3, 4, 7, and then I can't remember. I can't
Four
remember.
last year.
There was a 7 in there, yes, and so
Yeah,
the
yeah.
7 really helped us get to where we're at right now.
Mr. Hargrove, aren't we the only school district around us that's still on a percentage
Is, as far as,
raises and our compensation?
are you
Our
talking about just
stipends
like
and-
the general,
Their general stipends, everything. Everything we do is on a percentage, isn't it? As far as raises and.
you've got 4 or 5 counties that are around us, and I bet you're gonna find 4 or 5 different ways.
Yeah, I think, most of them around us, I think, is on,
I mean, I
They've
my
done away with the
previous position,
percentage.
I was figured into a percentage. It was a percentage amount. And you worked it into the amount of days and then how much your daily pay was, and you got that much more. But there's a lot of different ways. You know, the one thing that I do like about the way we do our business, if you have a bigger school and you're managing more kids, you get a little more money. Mm-hmm. As far as our leadership goes.
I know this has been explained before, but what is the career ladder supplement?
It
Career-
is- Go ahead, you know more than I do about it.
The
'cause
career
you-
ladder supplement is for old people like me. And a long time ago, you could qualify in 3 different levels of career ladder that required you to do some task, and it was professional development.
Mhm.
You achieved those tasks, you were considered career level 1. I was, got the career level 1 hurdle, got a nice, I don't even think I got an email, I got a nice letter in the mail that tells you how long ago. And then before I could get career level 2, they cut the program. So there are a handful of us,
Yeah.
the gray hairs, and you can see them in the back, they are considered career level teachers, and they're rewarded with $1,000 per career. If you're career level 2, you got 2,000.
Right.
Career level 3, got 3,000.
And the state reimburses us for all that. They
Yeah.
send us, it's a separate line in the budget
Mhm.
on revenue, and they reimburse us for everyone that.
But they
career ladder.
discontinued that program
They did.
probably before most people could get to level 2, much less level 3.
Very
I don't
much
think
so.
we don't have any level 2. Everybody we have is
Yeah.
level 1, and it's very few.
Yeah, they probably seen, oh, we made a mistake here. It's gonna
Yes.
cost us a bunch of money.
Well, it's fading out. It was I think it was a good program, and there was some value in the professional development, and it was time consuming, but, I mean, you got that for the remainder of your career, but the dinosaurs.
It was an incentive to
Yes, sir.
up your
Yes.
knowledge of teaching
Yes,
and
sir.
learn.
To improve.
Right.
We have 20, maybe 24 or 25 right now that we have in payroll, so.
Little tidbit, that was during
Lamar Alexander.
Governor's time, 'cause he,
Oh.
he used that as, and also, teachers would stay after school, and like our programs that we have now, that they actually got paid to do extra work
Mm-hmm.
too. I mean, there was, so like the after-school programs we have, Career Ladder would have paid for those people. All right.
Mr. Charlie, do you have a statement from the Stegosaurus? The other dinosaurs have spoken.
Yeah, I received it around 94, and I was having to go through the CPE program to get my license through the State Department. And my
And then they cut the program.
Good.
So moving forward, we're gonna work, I have the chart, and then we're gonna look at, and I'm gonna provide some numbers, and April and I are gonna provide some numbers on surrounding non-certs pay, hourly pay as well. Anything else?
Can we go back to this just a second, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Hargrove? I got a question on, we've got a supervisor for the transportation, and we've got a supervisor for the maintenance, but Mr. Shores is a supervisor over them too.
Mhm.
So why, yeah, I guess, why are we having two supervisors for those positions?
We have direction and just different levels of leadership.
You actually have 3 or 4, actually you have also Hargrove, the supervisor over that group too.
So why are we doing that, I guess?
You have a chain of command.
You have generals, you have commanders, you have sergeants, you have.
But they don't all get the same pay.
Do what?
They don't all get the same pay.
No, they don't.
Using the Army, so they
No,
don't all
they-
they don't all get the same pay. They don't get supervisors' pay, or they don't get colonels' pay.
No, they don't.
So I guess why are we paying them as supervisors if we're,
They have another level of leadership that they provide our school district.
okay?
Hargrove gets paid more than I do, but Mr. Morris gets paid less than I do, so we're not getting paid the same.
I would think with all they had to do up here at central office, that they wouldn't have time to oversee in those
I agree.
particular departments. So they would need someone who's supervising on a more local level for that, which makes sense to me.
I guess the school district's a little bit different than out in the regular
It is
world.
drastically, and don't bring that up in front of my wife.
That's, if you was out in the regular world, you have one supervisor, you don't have three.
Nope, you do, and it is
And
much
that's
more.
a big question with our constituents. Whenever that last one come out, whenever
Right.
that last one, whenever our budget came out, and we was trying to get it approved, some of our, they was asking questions about that, and I'm just passing that along. That's what we hear as constituents from taxpayers, is why we have supervisors supervising supervisors. Because that's what that's what we have here. So, I mean, they may be a different level, but they're still,
Sure.
we're still
Our-
calling
our-
them, we're
our
still
te-
calling them a supervisor.
We do, and teachers don't have the label of supervisor, but they supervise the non-certified people in their classrooms.
I can speak for outside of your knowledge, because I work at a factory. So there's a CEO, there's a CFO, CFO, and then there are supervisors that supervise each area of the business, and then there are people who are supervisors of the plant, who supervise each plant. So there are multiple, I just can speak for the factory, because I was there for so long, but that's how.
No, I know. I work out at the base. I know exactly. We have,
I,
I know exactly how the organizational chart and everything works. We have one out there. But, I'm just telling you as constituents, that's what,
I'll be more than glad to put the organizational chart as well as the job duties on, and our community is more than welcome to go through and look and see what our supervisors do,
They can come sit with
just
us
to be
any day of the
completely
week.
transparent. I
We're
got it.
open office.
yeah.
That might save Chris and Scott some phone calls.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They can refer it to the website.
That would be,
Well, on the other end, there were two things that stood out to me when I walked into our buildings here. I was so impressed, and you brought this up a while ago, how clean our buildings were.
Mhm.
Well, before I interviewed, there were no questions about the buildings, but I knew each year the building, because I did my homework, And we have older school buildings, but when you get inside of them, they don't look older. We have done a great job as a school district
Absolutely.
with our commitment to our projects and keeping our buildings maintained. The second thing that jumped at me is our student-teacher ratio.
Mhm.
Is it one teacher per 10 children? No. Is it one per 15? No. But as I look at each school's classroom and their average class size, I've been in a school that had 28 in two classes, and it's not productive. Now, financially, could we chop some teachers out?
No.
Hey, well, I mean, that's the philosophically.
Yeah.
No, we want to serve our kids, and it better serves our kids because our kids are the focus. And having a lower classroom size doesn't mean just success for in that class. I mean, it's a good thing, and it solidified our commitment to education in this county, and that solidifies from our board to our employees, whether they're certified or non-certified, to our families that we serve, to the children,
Well, it also helps with teacher retention.
without a
And
doubt.
keep-
Everybody
small.
wins. But those were the two things that jumped out at me.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is, we get, our cafeteria workers, our clerical workers, our teachers' assistants, our sped assistants. Last week I was out at, North Coffee,
Mhm.
and I was at Deerfield as both of them as well. And what they have to do and to make, $19 an hour.
I understand.
They have to have the patience of Job. And to make what they make, and then, this board wants to recognize those people and let them know that we don't forget them. Because everybody needs to go out there and go to a sped class and see what they do. Everybody needs to watch our custodians and all these people, and this is the reason why I fight for these guys. We have to have everybody. I agree.
We sure do.
We
And
have to have
I agree with
everybody.
that wholeheartedly. And I think our board and our leadership has, is it where it needs to be? No, but a 32% increase over a 5-year time period is headed in the right direction. And I think it shows our commitment to our folks. Nobody in this field, you don't do it about the income. I mean, everybody's
Right.
got to eat. It's about the outcome and then
Yeah.
what kind of positive effect that we can have on a young person's life.
Exactly, yeah.
And I'll add the schedule. A lot of our people do it for the schedule.
Schedule.
And the
Because they want
insurance.
the summers and the holidays with their children. And that's a big part of this, that's a big part of why they do it, I would say. It's why I came over here.
Gotcha.
That's why I left Thrive.
You have 2 children?
Mhm.
Middle schooler and a high schooler? Goes fast, doesn't it, Miss
Goes
April?
fast.
Any other questions?
No, I think it's gonna be a while before we can make those decisions. Like you say, it's gonna be when we know what we've got available. So,
I do want to give Miss April a shout out. I mean, we've got some things with our ROTC, and that deals with federal dollars, and she has done a good job of juggling our pots. I do want to give a special shout out to our friends over restaurant over there at Jefferson's. And our parents should have received something today. children under 12, feeding them, helping folks.
Do the SNAP benefits kick back in?
Yes, sir. And that's one of the big reasons I get up, and I'm excited to be a part of what we're doing here at Coffee County Schools. You got great people, and we're going to take care of each other. And you see that in our actions and how we treat others. But if anybody else doesn't have anything, Mr. Coon, it's your birthday. It's your 29th birthday. Anything else?
Would you like for us to break out into a song, or?
No, I'm good.
Sure.
Connie didn't send us cakes and
Scott was,
cheesecakes.
me and Scott was we was gonna sing to you, so if that's,
Well, that's all right.
all right.
Maintain
have
your
no
voice,
earthly
cause,
idea.
you know,
You
you
have
may
no
wake
earthly
up
idea
with
what you're
allergies
missing.
in the morning and not have a voice.
Well, we
so,
understand
you know.
that. That's what we were gonna sing to you for, so we
Well,
didn't,
let me say along with you that April constantly astounds me. She's a magician. You know, I think that I'm amazed.
5 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing. I've learned a lot. I've learned a whole lot.
Well, you're good.
And to speak to something, it is different. A school, learning the school language is very different than real world. And we are organized a little bit differently.
Yeah.
the thing is these websites now, people know how to look.
Mm-hmm.
They've learned how to look, haven't they, Miss Inch?
Well, some of us have.
Yeah. They've learned to look at this stuff, and that's the questions that we get, and that's the question that I got last year, you know, and it's, so that's the reason why I bring it up. And I think, I'm not answering for Mr. Coon, but I think he's gotten a couple of those same questions too, and so.
Well, when you got information that's public record, then you got some people that can dig and find it, and you know they're gonna question about a lot of things. I've had questions from some county commissioners,
Right.
last year. So I mean, it's everybody. It ain't just parents. It ain't just
No?
anybody. I mean, it's everybody. Everybody's able to dig nowadays. But
And they want to ask, and that's what we're here for. That's what we're elected for. We're elected not for just the teachers. We're elected for our constituents. They're the ones that votes for us, and they're the ones that puts us in this office, and we have to represent them as well. And sometimes that gets lost in the shuffle about, we're not for the teachers, but we are. But we also have to be for the taxpayers and be good stewards of our money, and what all's going on there, because they're asking, and because of these websites and things that go on them, and whenever we're given, there's a lot of economics out there. It's they know all about money and how we're doing it and why we're doing it this way, and so that they got a lot of questions, and we just got to be able to answer them as best that we can.
I understand. I appreciate you all, and y'all have a great evening.
Thank you.
What? Randy.